All right, we're back in open session. Time is
7:35.
all right, action is needed on closed session items. A, action to approve the employment of at-will personnel for the 2020-21 school year.
I'd like to recommend to the Board of Trustees Mike Garza as a paraprofessional to facilitate the Elevate K-12 for the 2020-21 school year.
Motion.
I got a motion by Mr. Mata.
Are you gonna include the substitutes?
The substitute list, oh, that's on page what, I'm sorry.
I second, and are you going to amend your motion, sir, to include the substitute list?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I'll go with the amendment.
It's in there, the list is in there, I'm sorry.
I got a second by Mr. Bonilla. And that's also to include the substitute list. Comments, questions? All in favor, please raise. Motion passes 6-0. All right, B, action to approve the employment of 2021 summer program at-will staff, selection to be determined by school program needs.
I'd like to recommend to the Board of Trustees the at-will staff for the 2021 summer school program list, but remember that the principals will make a decision as to who they want to work.
So move, sir.
I got a motion, Mr. Bonilla.
I second.
Second by Mr. Mata. Comments or questions? All in favor, please raise. Motion passes 6-0. C, action to approve the 2021 summer food service program staff.
I'd like to recommend to the Board of Trustees the 2021 summer food service program staff that is listed and discussed in the executive session.
I'll move.
Who's that?
Me.
Got a motion by Nora. Ms. Guerrero.
I second.
Second by Mr. Mata. Comments, questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 6-0. D, action to approve the reemployment renewals of the professional employees, including teachers, campus principals, directors, coordinators, service supervisors, and central office administrators for the 2021-2020 school year.
At this time, I would like the board to consider tabling that and bring it back to the board as quickly as possible.
I'll move.
I got a motion by Ms. Guerrero.
I second. Sir, I have a question. If we table, it goes back to the regular session, or can we?
We're probably going to have to come back with a special meeting again.
So we can table to a special meeting?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to clarify.
I got a motion by Nora, second by Mr. Mata. Comments or questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes 0. Number 8, budget workshop.
Okay. Okay, remember this is the first budget workshop. What, oh man, this has a password. Not my computer, so I don't know. Of course, as was mentioned just a while ago, that budget workshops really start January, February, right? So it's kind of behind the schedule, but I decided to go ahead and really work with the staff to make sure that everybody understood exactly where money comes from and how it all works. So by doing that, I'm telling you right now that the principals themselves have never been invited to work on their budget until this year. Right, so, which is an eye-opener, but you move on, right? However, it's nice to see that once you show them one thing, then they start helping each other and they build their own, because it flows after a while. So what I'm gonna show you is a couple of things, and then we'll get to the actual budget. Now, remember, this is the first budget workshop. You're gonna see more information later. So we're gonna go to number one. The two screens are identical. That way you see one or the other. So let's talk about this amount here. This amount here comes from state compensatory education. This is based on at-risk students. Oh my God. All right, now, I told them to go ahead and use last year's amount, right? Because we do not know what the legislature is gonna do this year. The legislative year also puts a lot of bind in the districts, because you don't know if they're gonna cut this or do that. But I told them, okay, let's use last year's money. 55% of that money is supposed to be used for the program. But 45%, $1.1 million is supposed to use for the operations of the district, for electricity, for gas, for food, whatever it is. So in actuality, you're supposed to use $1.4 million that goes into the campuses. Everybody follow that? So then, off of the $1.4 million, we take district expenses off of the top. This is a district expense because it's DAP. Summer school, all of this stuff comes from the top. So this adds up to $301,617. So the money that we're supposed to spend on the campuses or in the district is 1.4. You subtract the district expense, and you're left with 1.44769. So what do you do next? You take this money here, and then you say, how many kids do you have? A high school? I have 403 admit students. That's 39% of this amount. So high school, you're allotted $446,460. Do you follow that analogy? I'll let you read it yourself, how everybody else gets their allotment. You see that? And the 1.44 over here matches the 1.44 over here. My principals, my directors have never seen it this way before. Everybody follow that? So now we're gonna go number two.
Dr. Gonzalez, I'm gonna have to be excused.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, that's fine.
That's here, correct? Anyways.
Yes.
I'll take a look. Have any questions?
If you have questions, you go ahead.
I will, sir.
All right, now title is another one. This comes from the federal government, Title I, 1.2 million. Indirect cost is only 50,000. That's all they allow us.
I'm sorry.
The 50,000 is for electricity, food, gas, whatever it is. So we're supposed to spend $1.1 million in the campuses. Notice first that we deduct what is district level. It's still summer school, it's still licensing software, it's still stuff that we use for the campuses. So you subtract that and you're left with $769,000. You get back over here, everybody is supposed to get the amount. Notice here, according to the students that they have, is divided up evenly. Everybody follow? Mm-hmm. All right, now we go on to the next one. The next one is Title II. Same thing. Easy, right? And then the next one, Title IV. And this is all according to what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do. You can visit that later on, right? But certain things are restricted. Each one of these titles can say you can only spend it here, you can only spend it there. So we have to follow what the federal government says. That was number 4, correct? Number 5, same thing. Each one, on this particular one, they have to get exactly the same amount because of the regulations. Now, number 5, number 6, this is Kate. Kate is the technology over at the high school. That all goes to the high school.
Don't have anything for junior high.
Not yet. Why? Because the teacher's not certified, so we don't earn any money.
Title 5? No.
This is about money revenues, right? So because the teacher is not certified,
We have that.
earn any money.
How's that one?
That we don't give them money, but we don't earn any money from them.
If the teacher was certified, we would take it from the total or additional.
If the teacher was certified, it would bring us more money over here,
Okay.
right? So, the high school is taking all of this because they're bringing in the money. So the little bit that we're doing over here comes out of your 199. Your 199 is your regular budget. Does everybody follow the idea how this works? All right, now. Now we go to the campus budgets. Those papers that you just saw are gonna come up here. I'm gonna go to the high school first. I'm gonna go all the way to the top. Look at the high school and how much money are they supposed to get for state comp?
On here?
SCE, look at SCE. How much money is the high school supposed to get?
It's 2.6?
No, high school.
SCE, 446,000?
Notice here, look right here.
Oh, okay.
You see that?
40-something thousand.
So what I did, I just transferred the money that you just saw into the,
Make it bigger?
that's all I'm doing is transferring the money over here.
Oh, okay. Or
You see how this is state comp? This is title, the professional development, that's the other title.
Okay.
This is the other title. It follows all the way across. All the way across, special ed, everything, Kate, the amount of money they're supposed to get.
We don't have these forms, right?
Which one?
Those?
No, you don't have this one.
Okay.
It's too busy. I need to explain this to you. But you see how these monies were transferred from what I just discussed? And that's what's supposed to be allocated to each campus. Now, out of this campus, do you have a Jenny Ramirez? Yes. Who's gonna pay Jenny Ramirez? Well, because she's the vice principal, you have to put her under 199. You cannot pay her with title, you cannot pay her with state comp, it's 199. 199 is your regular budget. So all of these people that you see here comes from 199. Now, this one here, who pays for that? Well, you scoot over, who pays for it?
Title one.
Title I, because it's allowed. So, do you follow this process? So all these are gonna pay a certain, according to what they can. Look at this one. Who is this one? Special ed, who is it? Speech therapist. Correct? Easy, right? So that's why the principals loved it, because now they're actually seeing this. So now, if you go down, these are all the professionals. And who pays what on the professionals? Like this one, look at this one. Look what it says, split. 163, 42.85%, 199, 57.150%. So then if you go down to this one, you'll see that 199 pays a little bit and state comp pays a little bit. You see? Does anybody else pay for this particular one? No. This is the final salary for that particular person. Let me share something with you. The salaries for the professionals are based on the teachers is based on, like, if we are going to just move them up a step. So there's already $200,000 added in there. So remember what we're looking at to try to build money?
Yes.
So 200,000 already in there. So you got 200,000 to play with.
What's our balance for the 4%?
Pardon me?
What would be the balance for the 4%?
Well, there would be 500,000. I still need $500,000.
Okay.
But do you follow this, right?
Sure.
Okay, it's easy, right? That's why I like it. Now, let's go down. Now, after you do all the professionals, all this is the total professionals, then the fringes, grand total for the professionals under 189, $1.4 million. State comp, 344,000. All the amounts with fringes, because these are just the professionals. So now comes the paraprofessionals. The paraprofessionals are here, then who pays for the paraprofessionals? Well, some are paid through 199, some are paid through title, some are paid through special ed. So once you get to this paraprofessionals, then you got down to this list. Well, if you add all these, what's left in state comp? You're left with $81,000. What's left with title? 93,000. What's left with professional development? 16,000. All right, but still, that's just staff, right? So then you go down here, and then you start knocking off other things. Then you wind up with, I'm left with at risk for 15,000. I'm left with title 15,000. I'm left with 7,000. Okay, why is it good to be left with 15,000? If you give a raise, you need to pay them all. Right? Because if you run at zero and you need money to give them a raise, you need to have money. Now, notice here too, this is the first time that the principals were able to visit with us and say, I really need this. I did not let them to get once, only what I need. Because they never have been asked, how much do you really spend here? Let's look at your historical data. This time we did. So if we're saying buy 5 cards, we're just gonna give you a certain amount and it doesn't cover it, then he's gonna be negative somewhere else because he has to move money from here or whatever, right? You have to allocate the money. So what I did tell the board is that, what I did tell the staff is this. If TA comes back and says, we're gonna have to cut 5%, then you need to understand, principals, that we're gonna have to cut 5% from this. So it's easy for them because they can come in here out of my total amount of 199, because that's total amount of 199 is 2.170 million. And the state says you're gonna cut 5%, he needs to cut 5% from this. But he has to go back up here and decide where he's gonna cut the 5%. It's easy for him to do that. Every campus did the same thing. Every campus was allocated their money. This is Tomas Rivera. Now watch this. Notice they count. You see this one right here? It's a negative.
They're all in payroll. They're overstaffed.
So if you give a raise, they're already over, right? Do you see that? So look at this one. Do you follow?
Well,
And this is what's good about this, because do you see it? Do you see it? Do the principals see it? Do you see it? So what do you have to do? Now, for the longest of time, the other campuses were supplementing. So let's go to Benito Juarez. Look at this one. I know it's hard, difficult to see the number, but that's a negative.
24.
So if they're negative and we need to pay salaries, who has to pick up this negative?
Is it all on the high school?
No.
So,
You know who? 199.
oh, okay, the general fund.
199 has to pay for it. So on the previous one, how much did 199 have to pick up?
68?
That's what, $200,000 between this one and this one. Lorenzo de Zavala, same thing, go all the way down, and now you just go across. Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes. Then you go to Fly Junior High, go all the way down. Are we okay? 80,000, 78,000. So what happens is when you're negative like this, then 199 needs to kick in.
So
The state budget.
they're negative also? They're negative also?
Yeah, state comp. I'm not saying that they're not important positions. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is now we have to be creative, right? What are we going to do? If they don't identify those areas that are negative, okay, then do we need that position? Do we don't need that position? How can you do it? Well, then it is very important to have that position. So we're gonna move it to 199. 99 picks it up. And then 99, then instead of 1.5, now becomes 1.6 or whatever it is. But this is proof of the pudding, right? So at least now the principals are actually seeing the money. Before, they were just given, this is your budget. They didn't know how it all worked. Now, everybody follow that, right? This is our guide. When you are going to approve the budget, you're going to see a whole bunch of numbers and all this other stuff, and that's what you're supposed to approve. That's your role. But you have to see what's happening behind so that you'll know the process behind it.
Yeah, we're
We are aware of what's happening, right? Now, it's our job as administrators to fix it. That's our job. What's important, what's not important, who's gonna go there, who's gonna do whatever it is. But by the time it comes to you, you approve, what, 2 or 3 pages that says a whole bunch of account numbers, 199, 66, 84, 45, 3.5 million. And another million or whatever it is. That's what you approve. But all of that comes from all this. I wanted to show you this, how this all works. Now, let's go, I'm gonna show you. I also work with all the departments. All the different departments actually were asked, what is it that you need? So I have not totaled any of this or anything like that, but I visited with Ben and he says, I need for Ben consultants, 11,250. No, I'm sorry, that's
This,
not the one I wanted. I don't know what happened. That's the old stuff. They were supposed to, well, I'll tell you what, that shows you that we were looking at previous expenses. I don't know what happened here. Maybe we copied the wrong one. Okay. Sorry, I don't. Yeah, it's not. Well, I think it's on this side. You see physicals? So after their input, this is what they're recommending here on the side. All departments. I met with all the different departments, and this is what they're recommending. Why? Because if you don't give them the amount, let's say they're gonna go to the, the playoffs. They're gonna have to buy food. Oh, by the way, when they told me that the kids are only getting $7 to eat, you know what the kids are doing? They're taking them to McDonald's because they can afford it $7. They have to buy their hamburgers so they can feed, so they can eat more bun, more bread, so they can feel full.
and the coaches have to pay for their meals.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I know, but that's what was approved.
Right? $7 doesn't buy anything anymore. So I told them, you know what? Let's work on $9. At least go to Whataburger every once in a while.
Happy Meal.
I mean, that's what they're buying. They're buying just regular burgers from McDonald's so they can eat a lot of bread, so they can be full. So I told them, you know what, figure $9. So it's in there now for all the athletes, anybody that's going out. Another thing that was never figured out is we have to pay every trip that they take out. It's either you give it to transportation, the money for them to take up, or you give it to the campus to pay the transportation. If it takes $200 to go and come to $1 a mile to San Antonio and back, you either give it to the maintenance straight out, the $200, or you give it to BJ and BJ gives it to maintenance. It's still the $200. Everybody follow? But it's always good to allocate it to the campus because it looks like you're allocating the money for field trips and all that stuff.
So this is for the upcoming year?
Yeah, the ones on the side. I'll clean it up some more. But what I wanted to show you is every department did the same thing. They went through the budget and they said, this is what I need. I do not let them what I want. The only thing that I want, I gave to, and I'm gonna show you, the two band and athletics. I covered all the needs. And then he said, but Mr. Gonzalez, sometimes we have to buy this or dummies or other things than regular, right? They cost more money. You go, you know what? I'm gonna put $10,000 in there for those big items. But you need permission from the superintendent. It's not your money, it's the district money. You have to come and ask for permission.
Sure.
So then band comes around. I did the same thing with band. And he said, but the instruments are very expensive. Okay, I'll give you 20,000. He says, well, I'm gonna buy one tuba. And I go, what? He said, one tuba costs $12,000. I go, and they haven't bought instruments in a long time. So I go, holy smoke, I didn't know that.
I didn't know either.
So this is what I told them. I told them, you know what? Put the list of instruments that need to be replaced because we haven't replaced them in a long time. And bring it to the board for a one-time purchase. That would be under fund balance. They haven't bought instruments in a long time. They're using old stuff. they're paying a lot of money in repairs every year because they're working the old stuff. So that was kind of special for the bank. He's putting a list together, he's gonna bring it to you all. Of course, I'm gonna scrutinize the list and then bring it to you for, because I didn't know it cost that much money for the big instruments. Okay,
Has he shopped around different vendors?
well, he has to, at that price, he has to. Do you follow where we're at right now? Everybody has a hand on it, on what they need, not what they want. And all these programs are being tapped. We're trying to be as creative as possible. We're moving things from 199 to others. That's what we're doing. We're trying to do as much as we can so that title can help out and all this and get some of this out of the 199. We have to free up $700,000. That's our goal. So that we can be competitive. If we free up $1 million, it's even better. Okay, remember that this is the first budget workshop. I just want you to know where the money comes from and how it's allocated. There's gonna be more scrutinized on the money as the budget workshop continues, right? But at least now you know where it comes from and how it's distributed. Did you like the process? Did you like this?
Sure.
Absolutely.
It makes sense, right?
Are we gonna get a copy of that?
You can get a copy, you're gonna get this one over here, we haven't finalized.
No, not-
This part here is the one that you have,
Oh, the campus, that's what I'm talking about, not the one on the,
this one, or the other one, the ones that you have there.
I don't have, no. You provided one up there,
This one here.
He wants the one with.
campus.
With the
Yeah,
campus.
let me work on fine tuning it, and then you are gonna have all that. Okay? Notice that I told them to do this, because previously, they would just give you a whole bunch of numbers. So you don't know what the numbers are. So I was like, I want the description here so the board can see what the description is. Right? So let me plug away, let me make sure that all this is on the money, everything's clean, you know how it works. And then sure, that's part of what you're supposed to have in your hand. So when you approve the budget, you're supposed to approve it because you have all the information before you.
Sir.
Okay?
So do you have any indication when the state is going to,
Usually what happens in July, they tell you what happened in June. So everybody scrambles, all districts scrambles to make sure that if you don't have the money, what are you gonna do? Or what are you gonna do? You have to have a different strategy. So let's say that you have this number here and the money is not there, you know that some of that is gonna go away because the money is not coming in.
Sir.
Got it? Yep.
got it?
Comments, questions? Everybody good? All right, number 9, adjournment. Motion by Mr. Cruz Mata,
Second.
second by Mr. Bonilla. Comments, questions?
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
All in favor? Please raise your hand.